Topic 9, probability. 9.1 outcomes. When flipping a coin, we can get two possible results, a head or a tail. We call flipping the coin an experiment, and the result of those experiments is called the outcome or the event. And whenever we're tossing a coin, there are two different outcomes. You can either have heads or tails. So these are the outcomes of the experiment. If we were going to roll a die, what the different outcomes would be over all the scores. So we could have a 2, we could have a 1, we could have a 6, and so on. So the outcomes then of that experiment of rolling a dice would be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. So the outcomes are the scores that you could actually have or see, whereas the experiment is what you're doing to achieve those outcomes. So now we know what an experiment is and what outcomes are. Now we can look at probability. And the word probability is used to describe chances. So the probability of an event means the chance of that event happening. Probabilities are given as fractions, decimals, or percentages, and we should know that they are equivalent to each other. So it doesn't matter which way we put them in, provided we don't put them in ratios. That's one thing we definitely don't do. Probabilities range then from 0 to 1. That's if we're using fractions or decimals. If we're using a percentage, then they would range from 0 to 100%. To work out the probability of an event, it's the number of chances of success divided by the total number of possibilities. So in our dice, if we're looking at the probability of a 5, and that's normally how we write it, the P brackets 5, it's equal to the number of chances of success. So on a dice or a die, there's only 1, 5, and there are 6 total possibilities. So the probability would be a 6th. And on this occasion, leaving it as a fraction would be much better than as a decimal or a percentage. Example 1, a bag contains 2 red, 3 blue and 5 green counters. A counter is chosen at random. What is the probability that it is red? So the probability of red is equal to the number of chances of success. So there's 2 red counters out of a total of 10 counters. So the probability there is 2 out of 10, which simplifies to 1 over 5. So the probability is a 5th. Now you could have written that as 0.2 or 20%, but I'd say again, leaving it as a fraction is much easier. Example 2, in the same bag, what is the probability is blue or green? So the probability of blue or green, what we're looking at is the number of chances of success. So there are 3 blue and 5 green, so that's a total of 8 blue or green out of a total of 10 counters. And 8 out of 10 simplifies to 4 over 5. Again, we could have written that as 80% or 0.8, but 4/5 is just much easier than doing anything else. Events happening more than once. So what is the probability of getting an even number from a fair dice? So here there are 3 desired outcomes and 6 possible. So the probability is 3 out of 6, which is a half. Remember the numbers on a dice, you could have 1, a 2, 3, 4, a 5 and a 6. And the even numbers there are clearly 2, 4 and 6, which gives us our 3 out of 6 total. Example 3, what's the probability of rolling a prime number on a standard dice? So what we need to do is think about the prime numbers. The prime numbers are numbers that have 2 factors. So 2's a prime, 3's a prime, 5's a prime. So what we can see is that there are 3 in total. The numbers on a standard dice, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 possible outcomes. So the probability of a prime is going to equal 3 out of 6, which simplifies to a half.